What if the greatest act of worship in human history began with God letting Satan destroy a righteous man? This is the terrifying reality behind one of the oldest stories ever told, a story not about failure, but about faith. Not about punishment, but permission. In the throne room of heaven, God himself pointed to a man named Job and allowed hell to come for him, not because he was weak, but because he was faithful. What followed became a cosmic drama so intense that even the angels fell silent and the foundations of faith trembled. This is the story of the greatest test of faith the world has ever known. Job's name has become synonymous with suffering, but that misses the point entirely. His story isn't about why bad things happen to good people. It's about what happens when the invisible war between heaven and hell chooses a human battlefield. It's about a man who lost everything and discovered something worth more than all of it combined.
The Lord gives, and the Lord takes away. Blessed be the name of the Lord.
In the silence of the ancient lands, where the wind blows through mountains and deserts, lived a man whose name would echo for centuries. He had everything: wealth, honor, a large family, a respected name among nations. But in just one day, lost everything. From the heights, a challenge was issued. Man would be tested in the fire of pain. His possessions would be consumed, his children taken away, his flesh wounded. And yet, her faith endured. This is not just the story of one man. It is the portrait of the greatest battle between heaven and the abyss. This is the story of Job. The sun was rising over the lands of the east, tinting the fields and hills in gold. A long caravan was crossing the horizon, leading herds of cattle, camels, and sheep. In the center of that vast scene, a man stood as a symbol of respect and prosperity. Job. Her firm voice echoed in the mornings as she rose to pray for her children. Offering sacrifices to God, as he feared that amid the feasts and celebrations, some of them might have sinned against the Almighty in thought or word. His house was full of life. 7 sons, 3 daughters, many servants, countless riches. Everyone who knew him spoke of his integrity and his fear of God. But while harmony reigned on earth, in the heavens, a conversation was being prepared that would forever change the man's story. In the midst of the assembly of the sons of God who stood before the throne, a shadowy figure stood out. Satan walked among them with steady steps, as if claiming a place that was not his. The Lord spoke with a voice that shook the heavens.
Where are you from?
Satan looked up, a smile like a challenge hidden on his lips.
To go around the earth and walk through it.
God then confronted him.
Have you observed my servant Job? He is an upright and righteous man who shuns evil.
Satan's expression hardened, and his response echoed with irony.
Does Job fear God for nothing? Have you not surrounded him with blessings? You have not multiplied your riches. Stretch out your hand, touch everything you have, and see if you do not curse you to your face.
Silence. The angels watched closely, as witnesses to what would be decided. Then the voice of God broke through the space.
Behold, everything he has is in your power. Just do not lay a hand on him.
Days later, a storm of tragedies approaches. Servants come running to Job's house, each one bringing worse news than the other. The first, panting, falls to his knees.
The oxen were plowing, and the female donkeys were grazing beside them. Suddenly the Sabaeans came and took them away. They killed the servants with the edge of the sword. I alone escaped to bring you the news.
Before Job could react, another ran.
Fire of God came down from the sky, burned the sheep and the servants and consumed them. Only I escaped.
The third one appears almost out of breath.
The Chaldeans split into 3 groups. They attacked the camels and took them, and the servants were killed. Only I survived.
And finally, the most brutal blow. A final servant enters, tears running down their face, voice trembling.
Your sons and your daughters were eating and drinking wine in the oldest brother's house. Then a strong wind came from the desert. The house collapsed on them and they died. Only I escaped.
Job's body weakens, his knees give way. And he tears his robe, shaves his head, and falls to the ground, not in despair, but in worship. With a choked voice and tears in his eyes, he declares,
Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I will return there. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord.
The sky darkens, as a sign that the first clash had only just begun. In the heavenly places, Satan once again presents himself before God.
Where are you from?
The Almighty asks,
To go around the earth and walk through it.
Have you considered my servant Job? He still maintains his integrity, even though you incited me against him to destroy him without reason.
Satan clenches his fists, his voice resounding with bitterness.
Skin for skin, a man will give all he has for his life. Reach out your hand now to touch his bones and flesh, and you will see if he does not curse you.
God firmly replies,
Behold, he is in your power. Just spare his life.
so Satan comes down to earth. And soon, malignant ulcers cover Job from head to toe. The once prosperous patriarch, now weakened, sits in the dust, scraping himself with a shard of pottery. Your wife approaches, pain written on her face.
Do you still retain your integrity? Curse God and die.
Joe raises his teary eyes. His voice is firm but calm.
You speak like a crazy person. Would we accept good from God and not also accept evil?
He turns his eyes to the ground while his heavy breathing echoes. Silence takes over. In the background, dense clouds cover the sky, as if even nature awaits the next chapters of the invisible struggle. The wind was blowing strongly over the ruins of Job's home. Where there was once music and joy, now only the lament of the servants could be heard, the muffled cries of the women, and the lost mooing of the few animals that remained. Job, covered in sores, sat in the ashes. His skin burned, his flesh throbbed with pain, and yet his mouth did not open to blaspheme. Only groans escaped like intermittent sighs. The news of his fall spread quickly. The man who was once seen as a model of prosperity is now the subject of whispers in the neighboring villages. Some said that the hand of God was heavy upon him because of hidden sins. Others believed that the heavens were punishing his house for some secret. The truth, however, remained hidden from everyone. Job was the stage of an invisible battle between the Almighty and the accuser. In that dense silence, three figures approached from a distance. They were his friends, Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar. When they saw Job from afar, they almost did not recognize him. His skin was covered with festering sores, his beard was unkempt, his eyes sunken and tearful. They tore their clothes as a sign of mourning, and sat on the ground next to him. For 7 days and 7 nights, no one said a word. The silence was heavier than any speech, and only Job's groans filled the void. On the morning of the 8th day, Job raised his voice for the first time. His speech echoed like thunder in the desert.
Perish the day I was born, let it never be counted among the days of the year. Why didn't I die at birth or expire when I came out of the womb? For now I would lie in peace, I would sleep and be at rest.
Eliphaz leaned forward, his face severe but compassionate.
If someone tries to talk to you, will you get bored? However, I can't keep quiet. Behold, you have taught many, strengthened weary hands. But now when it's your turn, you falter. Remember, whoever perished being innocent.
Joe raised his eyes, his tears reflecting the flame of pain.
As if I could weigh my sorrow, it would be heavier than the sands of the seas. The arrows of the Almighty are in me, and their poison drains my spirit. Friend, did I not ask for help? I just ask for understanding.
Bildad, with a firm voice, cut through the air.
If your children sinned against him, he handed them over to the power of transgression. But if you seek God and plead with the Almighty, he will restore your home. Affliction does not come from nowhere, Job.
Job's heart was stirred and he cried out, his face turned towards the sky.
How could I contend with him? Even if I were righteous, I could not answer him. I wish there were an arbiter between us who could lay his hand upon me and upon him.
Silence returned for a moment, interrupted only by the wind that stirred up dust around. Zophar, the third one, leaned forward and spoke harshly.
If you regret it, you will reach out to him, and your life will shine brighter than noon.
Jo took a deep breath, her voice now choked.
Indeed, you are all troublesome comforters. How long will you torment my soul? If I have indeed made a mistake, the error is mine to bear. God has delivered me to the wicked and made me a target of mockery. I cry out to you, O Most High, but you do not answer. You have been cruel to me, and yet I know that my witness is in the heavens.
The words fell like stones between them. While the sky covered with heavy clouds reflected the weight of the discussion. The heavenly silence seemed overwhelming, as if God himself had withdrawn. Pain, doubt, and accusations intertwined in every speech. But in Job's heart still remained a spark, the conviction that his case was before a just judge. And it was this spark that would sustain his resilience in the face of the coming storms. Night fell over us, heavy as a leaden cloak. The stars, hidden by thick clouds, barely lit the field where Job sat on the ashes. The cold wind was blowing, and his tired breath mingled with the dry sound of the embers going out. Your friends were still there, surrounding you, and the silence that once seemed like compassion was now turning into veiled accusations. Jo raised her tear-filled eyes and with a trembling voice broke the silence.
My soul is tired of life. Let me be, for my days pass like a breath. I will say to God, do not condemn me. Show me why you contend with me.
Eliphaz shook his head, eyes fixed on the sufferer.
Job! Would God pervert justice? Remember, happy is the man whom God corrects. Do not despise the discipline of the Almighty.
Jo clenched his fists. His voice became stronger.
Oh, if only my words were written in a book, for I know that my Redeemer lives, and in the end he will stand upon the earth. And after my skin has been destroyed, yet in my flesh I will see God.
Bildad stood up, upset by Job's boldness.
How long will you talk about these things? What is man to be pure? Even the moon does not shine before him, and the stars are not pure in his eyes. How much less man, who is a worm?
The words cut the air like a sword, but Job did not remain silent. With a voice full of emotion, he shouted,
Mercy, my friends, why do you pursue me like God? Will you at least not shame my torn flesh? What did I do to deserve this burden?
Zophar leaned in, his hard gaze reflecting distrust.
Do you not know that since ancient times, the joy of the wicked is brief? Even if your height reaches the heavens, your fall will bring you to dust.
Job's tears ran down his wounded face. He looked at the overcast sky as if seeking a glimpse of an answer.
Oh, if I could go to the presence of God, if I knew where to find him, I would present my case before him. My mouth would be filled with arguments. I would know the words he would answer me with and understand what he would say to me.
The wind picked up, bringing a deep sound, as if the earth sensed the weight of that search. The friends stared at him, some with indignation, others with pity, but all with incomprehension. Joe turned to them, his voice trembling with emotion.
God knows the path I take. Testing me, I will come forth as gold.
The silence that followed was suffocating. He cleared his throat but found no words. Bildad lowered his eyes. Zophar was silent. The only sound was the wind cutting through the desert. In the darkness, Job lay back on the ashes. His heavy breathing revealed the weight of the inner struggle. His mind wavered between the pain of the accusation and the hope of a God who, still silent, seemed to watch him from afar. Then, suddenly, a new voice burst forth, younger and firmer. Elihu, who had remained silent until then, took the floor. His eyes shone with indignation at the friend's accusation and Job's desperate words.
I waited while you spoke. I listened to your reasons, but there was no wisdom in you. Hey, are you saying it's fair before God that he doesn't answer you? In this you are not right, for God speaks in one way and another. And man does not notice this. He opens men's ears through pain to turn man away from pride and ruin.
Joel looked surprised, his lips trembled, but he did not respond. The others looked at each other, uncomfortable with the audacity of the youngest. He continued. His voice grew as if he was seized by an irresistible urge.
Behold, in this you are not right. I tell you, for God is greater than man. He does not act unjustly. He instructs us, even through pain, so that the soul does not descend into the abyss.
The words echoed, hanging in the air. It was as if the wind had changed direction. Yeah, tired, he lowered his head. Her eyes, still tearful, shone with the spark of a different hope. Maybe, amidst the pain, there was something I still didn't understand. The sky, which had remained overcast until then, began to stir. Distant lightning cut through the clouds, and thunder rumbled in the distance. The desert fell silent, as if all of creation awaited the outcome. Elihu raised his arm towards the horizon.
Pay attention, Job, and consider the wonders of God, for he is on high, mighty in strength, yet just in all his ways. It won't be long and you will hear his voice. Kasila.
Joe's eyes filled with tears, not out of desperation, but out of reverent fear. For the first time since the beginning of his ordeal, he felt that something bigger was about to happen. The sky was covered with dense clouds, as if a storm were forming in the depths of the heavens. The silence of the fields of Uz was broken only by the lamentations of the wind passing through the dry trees. Job remained sitting in the ashes. Your weakened body, your eyes red from crying so much. Lou's words still echoed in his mind, challenging him to see beyond the pain. The young man kept talking, pointing to the horizon where lightning illuminated the darkness.
Listen, Job. The Almighty is great and does not reject anyone. He does great and unsearchable things and countless wonders. Behold, God thunders marvelously with his voice. He does such great things that we do not understand them.
Job lifted his weary eyes to the sky, and his voice came out choked.
If I could see him, if I could understand the reason for this pain, oh, that he would answer me, that he would tell me what my mistake is, because I feel as if I am the target of his arrow, and my soul is consumed without answers.
The friends looked at each other, some indignant at Job's audacity, others moved by his pain. Elihu, passionate, raised his voice again.
Job, you cannot contend with the Almighty. He is greater than the storm, and his ways are higher than our thoughts. Who are you to judge him?
The wind roared harder, and thunder rumbled on the horizon. Job's eyes sparkled amidst the tears. His heart burned with questions, but also with anticipation. He stood up with difficulty, leaning on an improvised staff. Her voice, weak but firm, cut through the air.
If God speaks to me, I will listen. If he judges me, I will be silent. I just ask that he does not leave me in silence.
The next hours were tense. The storm was approaching, and each thunder made the ground shake. Job, standing over the ashes, stared at the horizon as if waiting for an answer that would cross the skies. His lips moved in one final plea.
Hear me, Almighty. Do not let me perish without an answer.
Suddenly the wind blew fiercely, lifting sand and dust. The friends stood up startled, trying to shield themselves with their cloaks. Elihu stepped back, but his eyes remained fixed on the phenomenon forming in front of them. A dark cloud descended from the sky, spiraling like a whirlwind that swallowed the desert. The bang was deafening. The dust enveloped Job, who remained still, as if rooted to the ground. Then, in the midst of the whirlwind, a voice erupted, not like a man's, but like speaking thunder.
Who is this that darkens counsel with words without knowledge? Gird up your loins like a man now. I will ask you, and you will answer me.
Job's eyes widened. His body trembled, but his soul burned with reverence. My friends fell with their faces to the ground, unable to withstand the magnitude of that voice. The voice continued, majestic and relentless.
Where were you when I was laying the foundations of the earth? Tell me, if you have understanding, who set its measurements, or who stretched the line over it? On what are its bases founded, or who laid its cornerstone? When the morning stars sang together, and all the sons of God shouted for joy.
The words echoed like thunder over mountains. With each question, Job felt his heart crumble. He who was seeking answers now realized the chasm between his fragility and the Creator's greatness. The storm roared, but the voice did not stop.
Have you ever given orders to the morning since your days? Or have you made the dawn know its place? Have you entered the springs of the sea, or walked in the deepest abyss? Show me, Job, if you can.
Tears were streaming down Job's face. His legs trembled and he fell to his knees, unable to withstand the majesty of that revelation. The whirlwind surrounded him, but did not consume him. On the contrary, it revealed to him the glory of a God that no man can comprehend. Your friends, overwhelmed, did not dare to lift their eyes. The scene was grand, epic, overwhelming. Job, in the midst of the storm, no longer sought justifications, but only surrender. The storm was roaring over the desert, and the voice of God echoed like thunder that pierced the soul. Every word was like a ray that illuminated human insignificance before the greatness of the Creator. Job, prostrated in ashes, felt his body tremble, but his spirit awakened to a truth he had never fully comprehended. The voice continued.
Can you tie the cords of the Pleiades, or loosen Orion's belt? Do you command the lightning to go, and it answers you, "Here I am"? Who gave wisdom to the heart, or understanding to the mind?
Job's eyes filled with tears. His mouth trembled, and his hands, raised in surrender, were covered in sand and ashes. With a choked voice, he replied amidst the wind.
Behold, I am unworthy. What would I answer you? I put my hand over my mouth. I spoke once, but I will not reply again. Even another time, but I will not proceed.
The whirlwind enveloped him once more, and the voice became even firmer.
Gird now your loins like a man. I will ask you, and you will answer me. Will you indeed annul my judgment? Will you condemn me so you can justify yourself? Do you have an arm like God, or do you thunder with a voice like his?
Job fell face down on the ground. His uneven breathing turned into deep sobbing, no longer out of anger, but of surrender. He raised his face to the swirling sky and declared,
I know that you can do everything, and none of your plans can be stopped. Indeed, I spoke of things I did not understand, things too wonderful for me to know. I had heard of you, but now my eyes see you. Therefore, I despise myself and repent in dust and ashes.
The whirlwind ceased. The wind calmed down. The sky cleared slowly, and the silence that followed was no longer of absence, but of peace. The air itself seemed full of reverence, as if all of creation had witnessed that sublime moment. Job's friends, astonished, remained prostrate. Then the voice of the Lord turned against them.
My anger was kindled against you, because you have not spoken of me what is right, as my servant Job has. Therefore, take 7 bulls and 7 rams, and go to my servant Job, and offer burnt offerings for yourselves. My servant Job will pray for you, and I will accept his prayer, so that I do not deal with you according to your folly.
Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar trembled before the divine rebuke. Their eyes, once full of accusations, were now brimming with shame. They approached Job with the animals, bringing them as an offering. He, still fragile, but now strengthened by the revelation of the Almighty, interceded for them in sincere prayer. And the Lord heard Job's voice. Where there were once ruins, abundance begins to emerge. The fields turn green, the flocks multiply, the barns are full again. The hands that were once covered in wounds now work vigorously. The neighbors and relatives return, bringing gifts and silver, and Job's house becomes once again a place of celebration and life. Your new sons and daughters play in the sunny courtyards. While his wife, previously in despair, now smiles peacefully. Job, sitting under the shade of a large tree, contemplates his descendants up to the 4th generation. And so the Lord restored Job's fortunes when he prayed for his friends. And the Lord added double to all he had before. And the Lord blessed Job's late estate more than the first.